Hello everyone, welcome back to the Green Man channel. In today's video I'm reviewing the latest album from Anneke Van Giersbergen, The Darkest Skies to the Brightest, released on the 26th of February via Inside Out Music. The album is 11 tracks and it's 42 minutes in length. And obviously I'm a little bit late onto this review. I think I wanted to do it a little while ago, just didn't get to it. I am going to say that I was really impressed by this album. I just actually a little bit blown away by it in a way, and I'm not that familiar with a lot of Anneke's solo work, so I mean that's possibly the reason why, is that it sort of felt like hearing her in a slightly different style to what I'm used to, which is obviously hearing her with The Gathering from both the metal era or the doom metal era of that to the slightly more alternative era that I'm more familiar with. But her solo work, I mean, this album is really, really good. It's sort of stripped down pretty much. I believe that she put this album together with just an acoustic guitar, pretty much, very sort of basic setup. But when it's kind of been recorded and mixed, it has other elements in as well, a bit more kind of light percussion, some violins as well in a couple of the tracks. And the album's sort of, even though it sort of feels like it has that fairly straightforward setup, there's quite a lot of variety within it, and I'm talking variety in terms of styling and tempo. You get some very mellow, melancholic tracks, but also these slightly more, there's a couple of dancier tracks, like the track I'm thinking of, I think is called Survive, which has a slightly Latin feel to it, and I quite liked that. And The Promise also had a little bit of that flavouring maybe as well. There's kind of a couple of nice upbeat tracks within this album, which I think really make it a better album, because it's not just somber all the way through, and I think it gives the listener a little bit of diversity within, as I say, what is in a fairly sort of straightforward setup with Anneke's voice. And what I would like to say, I haven't really talked about Anneke's voice, does it really need talking about? It's just phenomenal. She has this angelic voice that just cuts through pretty much, anything. And in a way, that is often the driving force with this album, in the fact that it's not so much the music enhancing her voice as her voice is often enhancing the music. And that's a sign of an amazing singer, is that it's actually the voice driving the music in this instance, not the other way around, which is a very rare thing, I think, particularly a lot of the stuff I listen to, it's kind of the music that's driving the vocals. But no, in this case, Anneke's voice is obviously of a level that it's kind of her piece, and her voice is often driving, I think, a lot of the music here. I mean, that said, there's great music actually to back this up, and I think it's nice and subtle, understated stuff. Even the use of a trumpet, I believe, in one of the songs, which I thought was quite nice. I think it was the Hurricane in that early track. I love the opening track, Gape. I mean, that sort of had a feel to it that reminds me a bit of kind of 60s pop songs, like maybe a Burt Bacharach style to it, a little bit. Or, thinking about the Carpenters a little bit with that track. I don't want to draw maybe too many comparisons, I already have, to be fair, but it just gave me a little bit of that vibe, that first track. And lots of the rest of the album is like I say, it's not all one way at all. It's quite nice and diverse. I really liked Lo and Behold a lot, because it was a lovely kind of change of pace in that song towards the end, which I wasn't expecting, and I love things which I'm not expecting. Losing You and the end were very heavy emotionally. Certainly the end felt like a kind of breakup track, but it wasn't sort of so sad as to drag you under. I felt there was a tiny hint of hope in that song, particularly with the light use, or the use of the light guitar notes that kind of came at the end of each line of Anneke's singing, which I really liked as well. So, I mean, wow, I mean, a great album, and I fear that many people will miss this, either because they're stuck in the past with The Gathering. To be fair, I love The Gathering, and I kind of understand why people just, they're such great albums. I get why that might be, but give Anneke's albums a listen. I mean, and give this one maybe a listen because I think it's accessible. Maybe it's your first one. I think it's a great album in its own right. And yeah, sort of really liked this one, this release. So I mean, I think there's no reason for me if people wanted me to give this a score. There's no reason for me not to give this anything less than a 9. This was really, really good. And if you're looking for something quite light to listen to this weekend or this Easter, you have your album, Darkest Skies to the Brightest, Anneke Van Giersbergen. Thank me later. See you all later.